air conditioning, data recording, and diagnostics. Here we're using the Fieldpiece software with the Fieldpiece manifold. Also using the clamp-on meters. This one's turned to blue, so it means it's on the low side suction, the cold line. Very easy to determine. I have the other one way back there buried where you could barely see it flashing. That is on the liquid line. Unfortunately, on this vehicle there's a subcooler in the line, and it's actually have subcooling going on here. So if you didn't know that, you would get thrown way off. And that is why when we look at our actual superheat, or looking at our subcooling, we show 32 degrees of subcooling. If you didn't know what was going on here, that would be a false number, because there's actually a subcooling line and I'm attached to it. So you would have to do the mathematical calculations, take your differences of the subcooling, drop that out of the equation to come up to your true subcooling number. Or if you had access, which I do not, unless I want to take things apart, you would hook up to the line just after the condenser of the liquid line coming out. This particular situation, it's too difficult to do. So we have one of our temperature sensors here. I have it stuck far back inside there, going where the air intake actually goes down to the evaporator. And that is to get your entering air to the evaporator. And then you can see the other sensor, passenger side center, taking the air temperature there. That's your outlet temperature. And this is how we get our calculations. Here's our supply air temperature right now. That's the return air. So the temperature of the air actually being sucked in to the evaporator is entering at 72 degrees. Coming out, and here's our delta. We got 27 degrees delta. That's the temperature difference to the air drop across the evaporator. And we also could get the relative humidity dew point. Coming down here, our suction line, pressure, liquid line, all this gets recorded for the customer. So when the vehicle leaves the shop, the customer has evidence, and the shop does too, the condition the vehicle left the shop in. Oh, refrigerant type. Let's pick our refrigerant type. And so we have our 134 here. We'll pick our 134. And I know this system is pumping out somewhere a little over 400 CFM. This is something you just know by experience. I have the, if I wanted to get it exact, I would actually break out my airflow meters, go across and pick this, but I'm not going to. Our capacity in BTU output roughly right now is 21,000 BTUs of cooling that is being produced. And you can do this either with or without the manifold. Right now I'm only using the manifold transducers for the pressure for the high and low. I did not feel like unwinding these and putting them down there, and that's why I use the remote ones that are Bluetooth operated. Or you can do this completely with no manifold, and you use the transducers that attach directly to the couplings to go right to your connector right there.